Macho John Madden, Juanito, in Acamal, Mexico. The light is coming up. It's a little after 7 in Acamal. That's semi-jungle out there. If you go a block to the right, you're in real honest-to-God jungle in the Riviera Maya. I just did a video about entering the silence and dealing with inner sounds. I spent a year really throwing myself deeply into a path called Science of Spirituality, which was all about focusing on the inner sounds and the inner lights. And then many years later, when I was in the high mountains of North Carolina, I really went into the silence there because it was so quiet. And I came up with 2 more different ways to think about all that. The first one is in a video I just made. I'll put a link to that. But the other one is really a way of working with your mind and working with your whole way of being in the world. As I was in those mountains attempting to listen to the spiritual sounds, the sounds that were more available to me out there were the mountain streams and the crickets and the breezes, and I would focus on those. And mountain streams and rivers were spectacularly helpful for quieting my mind. I used to love to stand on a bridge with the river rushing underneath and just let that calm my mind. But another level of that, as I would be attempting to listen to the inner sounds, I would have violent reactions to people starting their motorcycles or running their weed eaters. Now, you hear motorcycles, and especially motor scooters in Mexico. You don't hear weed eaters. One of the beauties of Mexico is that they don't use mechanical tools like that like they do in the U.S. They use machetes to clear brush. And the road crews don't use jackhammers. The municipality of Tulum, when they're working on the sewers over here, they don't use jackhammers. They use pick and shovel. Picks. Boom, boom. It's mechanical. It's so much nicer sound-wise. It's much less efficient, but boy, sound-wise, it's so much nicer. So I'd be up there in the mountains, and I'd be listening to the mountain stream and getting happy. And I go, why? Why do you have to crank up your motorcycle or your weed eater when I'm being all spiritual here? Well, you may see the irony in that right up front. How spiritual it is it to get mad at somebody for starting the motorcycle or clearing the brush around their house? So where I took that was the path to use sound for enlightenment or spirituality is to not judge any sound you hear. And I got good at it to where the crickets and the mountain streams were the treble clef and the mechanical sounds were the bass line, and they were all part of the same symphony. I didn't judge them. Judging is the entryway to hell. It's the portal to hell, is judging. And the American middle class are extremely good at it, expert at it, for a lot of sociological reasons that I'll talk about in other tapes. But judging, oh, it's bad news. So if you want to enter the spiritual world, practice not judging anything you see, not judging anything you hear. Don't say, oh, that rooster, what a raucous sound. I'm trying to be spiritual. No, rooster sound is spectacular. So I've taken it further where essentially these days everything I see makes me happy. It's not just that I don't criticize it. I go, wow, look at that motor scooter. And you see so many wonderful things in Mexico. I mean, Mexico is great for that because you get to see so many stuff I never saw in the U.S. The lovely couple on their motor scooter with their big dog is sitting in front of them with his paws hanging over the handlebars, shit like that. You just see so many wonderful things. Mexico is incredibly enchanting, but that's the life, that's the world I live in, where pretty much everything I see makes me happy, and pretty much everything I hear makes me happy. But start with just not judging it. Yeah. Okay.